Hello, you're watching Vox News live from London. It's time for a news update. Guinea-Bissau has appointed its new Prime Minister. President Jose Mario Vaz declared 39-year-old former Minister Bakiro Ja has now replaced the sacked Premier Domingos Simios Pereira following a government spat. The West African nation has reportedly been in limbo since Vaz fired Pereira over a series of disputes, including the naming of a new army chief. The Islamic State group has claimed responsibility for a car bomb in Egypt that has injured 29 people. The powerful blast in northern Cairo's district of Shubra occurred last night. It also comes just days after President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi ratified an anti-terrorism law which critics claim gives wider powers to police and restricts human rights. Let's now go to eyewitness accounts following the Cairo blast.
We were walking and then we heard explosions. At first we said it was caused by natural gas, as a natural gas was recently fixed in the area. But when we saw people running, we ran towards the scene. Then we saw the fence fall down and everything fell down.
It was a pickup truck that crossed the other street. It stopped and a guy jumped out. He then crossed the street and took a motorcycle. After a second, there was a huge explosion.
In the Central African Republic, UN peacekeepers are facing fresh accusations of sex abuse by 3 young females, including a minor. The news comes just 1 week after Ban Ki-moon asked the UN head of mission to resign over a series of similar allegations. The alleged rapes occurred in the city of Bambari, where peacekeepers from the Democratic Republic of Congo are stationed. All available evidence is now being collected. A South Sudanese journalist has reportedly been shot dead today by gunmen. Peter Julius Moy worked with the independent New Nation newspaper in Juba. The death comes as South Sudan's rivals point the blame at each other for a wave of fresh attacks. The United States yesterday circulated a draft UN Security Council resolution proposing an arms embargo and targeted sanctions if President Salva Kiir refuses to sign past 1st of September. And what has been described as a surprise ceremony, Burundi's President Pierre Nkurunziza has been sworn in for a controversial 3rd term in office. He had been expected to be sworn in next week. Following the reports of more than 150 villagers killed by Boko Haram in Nigeria, security experts weigh in on the ongoing violence. Let's hear from Ayo Kunle Fagbemi.
There is always birds of the same feather flock together. And there is always a need for people to appreciate the fact that international terror networking thrives when we do not do correct problem identification and when the international community decides to play ostrich, like we have been playing with Nigeria's case.
Lawmakers in Somalia have announced they will be making a decision on whether or not to oust President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. However, members of the international community such as the United Nations, regional nations and African Union have issued a warning against the move, adding it may tamper with Somalia's progress in peace and development. In Mali, a new group is being blamed for a wave of attacks that is shifting a 3-year-old Islamist conflict from the north to its populous south. The emergence of the Messina Liberation Front, said to be recruiting among central Mali's Fulani ethnic minority, has sown panic among residents. Yesterday, Mali's main Tuareg rebel group urged the UN to lift all the security zones currently set up in the country's north. And more than 200 prostitutes in Nigeria reportedly began torching buildings in the market town in the south after their brothels and homes were demolished. The incident took place in Amansi, where local officials recently razed a number of homes on the grounds they were allegedly hosting kidnappers and armed robbers. Prostitution is illegal in Nigeria. However, high levels of unemployment is said to be the reason why many women are involved. In Kenya, riders are getting on their saddles, and the two-day camel derby in Samburu country it's said to be one of the ways of revitalizing the country's tourism. And what they're doing is working because the animals are proving to be a big hit. Here's more.
Known for their mean temper, humped backs, and long-distance treks, camels aren't your typical racing animal. But for 2 days in northern Kenya, Samburu County, camels compete in amateur, professional, and triathlon-style races, which draw foreign tourists and Kenya's nomadic herders alike. Stephen the Congo traveled 5 days on foot to the event, bringing 3 camels and a team of camel drivers with him. He trained his camels for over a year to race and used the trek to Marilal town as the final preparation.
Those 5 days we were coming, it was like a training for us because we were walking. And every time it's like evening, when camels settle in the seasonal river, in the wild with the wild animals, leopards and the rest, we train ourselves like little running, little jogging while the camels are resting.
The Camel Derby is part of the Kenya Tourism Board's effort to attract visitors, which fell by 25% in the first 5 months of the year after an upsurge in terrorism. And Al-Shabaab isn't the only threat to northern Kenya's security. The region is known for tribal conflict over cattle raiding, which killed 310 people last year. Tribal clashes over water and land is centuries old, but now automatic weapons are escalating the cost of conflict.
This time it's a little bit different because before people used spears, and now people are using guns, which is a bit really dangerous, which I feel like it's not good, it's not healthy in our community and also in the tourism industry.
Tensions over increasingly scarce resources in the north are still high, but to many, the Camel Derby offers some hope for tribal reconciliation. The festival features cultural events, games, and other entertainment, which attract people all over the north, presenting an opportunity for cultural understanding and peacemaking in the region.
Now we have all the cultures. We have the Pokot, we have the Samburu, we have the Turkana, we have almost all the 52 tribes of Kenya here. All for business, all to see. It's just a big show, actually, that happens in Samburu every August. So it's, yes, one of the events as well that promote peace and as well as a cultural event.
Stephen lost his job as a guide in a nature reserve due to a drop in the number of tourists. But after his camels took first place in 4 of the races, he returns home a richer man, already thinking about next year's Derby and new economic opportunities in Kenya's camel riding industry.
And protests have erupted following the killing of an 18-year-old African-American man during a confrontation with police officers in St. Louis, Missouri. Police responded by firing tear gas at the crowd, and at least 9 arrests have been made. A string of similar incidents has led to widespread outcry, as well as police and racial equality initiatives, going all the way up to the White House. Thai police have released more photographs of CCTV footage of the prime suspect behind Monday's deadly Bangkok shrine bombing, in which 20 people died. Officials said it is unlikely linked to global terror. Group Interpol has today been brought in to assist in the hunting of a foreign man accused of being the prime suspect. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack, leaving experts puzzled over who to blame. Let's get more details now from the Thai junta spokesman.
The security services have received cooperation from allied countries, and we have the same opinion that at the moment the incident was unlikely to have been the work of an international terrorist group. And we think the group was not directly targeting Chinese tourists because there were other nationalities affected too.
The United Nations has reported more than 500,000 children are severely malnourished in war-torn Yemen and warned of a developing famine. The UN has also pressed for access to its conflict-hidden regions. The World Food Programme estimates a total number of food-insecure people there is almost 13 million. An emergency food supply operation is set to take place in Yemen next month, costing around $320 million. Let's hear more from the WFP Executive Director, Erethin Cousin.
If we do not receive the additional access that is required to meet the needs of those who are affected by this ongoing conflict, if we cannot support the commercial markets by ensuring that the ports are open and providing food to ensure that those who have resources can buy the food that is necessary, and if we do not see increased.
And one of the most dangerous volcanoes, the Cotopaxi in Ecuador, has sent ashes spewing up into the sky. An eruption from the volcano, looming beyond the capital of Quito, could affect nearly 325,000 people. The government has issued a state of emergency. FastJet, Tanzania's equivalent to the UK's budget airline EasyJet, is looking to expand its horizons across the continent. Tanzania is among the fastest growing markets for air travel in Africa. Since 2011, FastJet has opened corridors to 4 countries and now has its eyes set on the lucrative market of South Africa. The International Air Transport Association predicts that Africa will be one of the fastest growing aviation regions in the world over the next 2 decades. Well, that's it from Vox News. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with another update. Goodbye for now.